Well, hello and welcome back to math. If you remember, Mrs. Houck was working on lesson 12 with you guys. We're working on division. You guys are going to be great at long division by the time you are done with 6th grade. So your homework was actually to finish problem number 2 here. You were supposed to do B and C. So if you are one of those students who didn't do their homework, make sure that you pause your video so that you can finish this problem to see if you understand how to do that. The rest of you, you can go ahead and keep playing it, and I am going to show you the answer to see if you did it correctly. All right, cheaters, pause your video. All right, your first answer was to do you divide this problem. The quotient, or the answer we've got, was 76. The second part of your homework was then to check your work. And in order to check your work, you are to take your quotient, or your answer, and you are to multiply it by what we were dividing, our divisor. And so hopefully you solved this multiplication problem. If you didn't, pause your video and show me your work, please. All right, so when we multiplied our quotient and our divisor, we found out that we came up with the original number. We started with 2,508, and so we've done 2 tasks. We did our dividing and we did our checking. Very good. All right, so we're going to keep continuing doing some division problems today. But before we move on, I wanted to show you one more problem down here. Some of you actually did this problem for part of your homework because you asked if you could do it, which is great. But I wanted to show you another way to estimate because I know some of you were having a hard time doing that. So one of the things that I found that is if you would write this problem as a division problem, so we know that 2,156 is our dividend, and we're dividing by 28. Another way to do that is to look at it and set it up like this. Go ahead and write another division problem. We're going to look at what we're dividing by 28. So most of us know we'll probably take 28 and say, you know, it's closer to 30. And so you're probably going to change this to 30 instead of going to 25. Most of us have noticed that when I round, I like to make sure that my number always has a 0 on the end. Okay, so I'm going to change this one first. Once again, I know that my number here has to be 4 digits long. So then I look at my 3, and I try to decide if I had to look at these first 2 numbers, 3 times what would give me something close to 21? Well, actually, 3 goes into 21 evenly. So I'm going to leave this as 21 and put my 2 zeros. So this is just another way for you to estimate. So now we would do like we did yesterday. I would write it like this. And I'd find my answer. Well, if you were watching, I like kind of all those little quick cheat methods here. Cross those zeros out. I already know 3 goes into 21 7 times. And obviously I need an extra 0. So I just kind of wanted to show you that other way to estimate. All right, so we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to turn our page and we're going to go on to lesson 13. So lesson 13 is just continuing to move on with more division, but if you notice, we've got a kind of a simpler problem here, but we're going to move on to longer problems. So what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to set up example number 2, and I'm going to start up here because I know I want to make sure I have enough room to solve this long division problem. So let's go ahead and set it up here. So I have my division problem set up. I already know that 38 cannot go into 2, so I'm going to put a placeholder above it. And I know it can't go into 20 as well. So now I have to decide 38 into 205. You can do one of 2 things. Remember yesterday, we can either take 38, and you guys can start counting over here by on the side by 38s. 38 2 times, so I'm going to add them together, is 76. I could add another 38 again. And I have here 114. And you can go and keep adding 38. Or you might be somebody who's going to say, you know what, I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to guess 38, 4 times. And you can do some guess and check to see what you can do to get closer. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to go ahead and I'm going to have you pause this video and I'm going to see if you can actually solve this problem on your own. Do not press play until you are ready to check your work. It's the only way that you are going to learn how to do this on your own. So go ahead and try it. Okay, let's look and see if you've started off correctly so far. If you notice, I figured out that 38 goes into 205 5 times. I went ahead and counted by 38s over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And I got 190. If you notice when I subtracted, I got 15. That's good because that's less than 38. So now I'm going to bring down my 2 and continue working on by looking over here at my side. Oh, 152 is exactly here, 4 times. And subtract, bring down the 7. Oh, 38 doesn't go into 7. So I still have to show that up here by putting a 0. Then I'm ready to bring down the last number, which is a 6, 76. And if I look over here, when I counted by 38s, I found out that 76 is evenly 2 times. So my answer, final answer, my quotient is 5,402. Okay, so a couple ways to solve long division. But if you notice, when you get long division problems like this, you have to make sure you're going slowly enough, because look at everything you have to do. You're multiplying, you're subtracting, you're bringing down numbers. Okay, so you have lots of work to do. And when you make a mistake, if I would have made a mistake right here at the beginning, my whole problem would have been off. Okay, all right, well, let's turn our page and move on to some more problems. All right, I'm actually going to have you flip all the way over to S53. As you can see, there's just lots and lots of practice problems for us to do. But I'm going to have us try dividing by a 3-digit number, which we probably have not done yet. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and let's set up problem number 5 over here on the side of our page. So we're going to divide by 112, bigger number. Okay, so obviously we already know that 112 is not going to go into 9 or 95. Okay, so now I have to decide how many times I think 112 is going to go into 952. Well, we could guess it's 9 times. Might get close, might go too high. If you want to count by 112s over here, you can, but I already know I'm going to have to go up at least 8 or 9 times, so you decide which works best for you. I'll swap my pen out here. But I'm going to go ahead and just do a little quick check. Let me just do here 112 times 9. Let's see what happens. Oh boy, if you notice what happened, I got 1008. So I already know that 9 is going to be too big. So I'm going to come up here and find some extra space on my book here, and I'm going to multiply this times 8. Let's see what happens then. So I found out 896. That's going to work. Now I'm going to keep these problems obviously available for me on my scrap paper or in my book in case I need them again. So I'm going to go ahead and write 8. I multiplied it up here, and I found out it was 896. And now I'm going to subtract. So go ahead and do your subtraction. Boy, a lot of borrowing we have to do here. All right, so I have here 56, which is less than 112, so I'm good. So I'm going to bring down the 4. 100, 500. Do you think we should go 5 times or 4 times? Let's try the 5 and let's just see what happens. Let's go over here on the side and let's multiply 112 times 5. Oh, look at that. I got 560. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and put up here 5 and 560. And easy subtraction here. 4. Oh, good. Oh, boy. Look at that, though. 112 is not going to go into 44. So remember, if it doesn't go into 44, I have to put that 0 up here to show that it doesn't go into 44. Now, if I wanted to, I could continue doing a 0 here, or sometimes some of us know that we can go ahead and bring that 8 down right away. All right, 112 into 448. I know it can't be 5. Let's see if 4 would work. Let's just do a check right here. And it works perfectly. So my quotient, or my answer, is 8,504. So as you can see, whether it's smaller numbers or longer numbers, it's still the same process. There's a couple ways to do this. Remember, this time I decided to just kind of do some guess and check over here on the side, or maybe you're the student who likes to go ahead and count by 112s on the side so you have everything readily available. All right, so I'm going to ask you to go ahead. We're going to do a lot of jumping around today. We're going to jump over here to lesson 14, and I want to do a quick introduction to dividing still with decimals. We're not going to look at example number 1. I'd like for you to actually look down here at this example number 2, when we look at decimal problems, the first thing we do is we kind of panic a little bit and think, oh my goodness, how am I going to do division with decimals? Well, we're going to start off the same way, and we're just going to write the problem out. So let's do this one together. Let's go ahead and put in our dividend here. And then we'll put our divisor over here. So we're going to do division exactly the same way we just did all the other problems, and we're going to kind of ignore the decimal after we deal with it first. So let's go ahead and deal with it first. So if you notice here in our divisor, we have a decimal here, and it has 2 digits after it. Well, we want to get rid of that decimal. We want to get it over here to the end. So basically, I'm going to just kind of move it over here. 1, 2 jumps, and I'm going to put my decimal right there. But the rule is, whatever you do here on the outside with the divisor, you have to do the dividend. So if I move the decimal 2 times here, I have to move it 2 times here. So I'm going to go ahead and move it 2 times. 1, 2, and I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to take that decimal straight up here and put it right there, and we are totally done with the decimal. We won't have to touch it again. Now we just do division normal. Oh, look at this, 1,245. I know it doesn't go into 9. I know it can't go into 97. And I know it can't go into 974. So if you look carefully, and I'm going to kind of cover up my page here a little bit, I have to take 1,245 and put it into the number 9,748. Well, I'm going to guess it's either 8 or 9. 8 or 9. Which one do you think we should multiply first? Let's just try the 8. I'm going to go small this time. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to write 1,245 times 8. Okay, so go ahead and solve that problem for me. Oh, look at that. If you notice, it's still too big. 9,960 was too big. I'm going to have to go smaller than 8. So we're going to come down here and we're going to have to go by 7. So go ahead and multiply that one for us. All right, so when I multiplied it by 7, I have 8,715. That's going to work. So we're going to go over here and we're going to say we're going to multiply this by 7. Remember, we're going to go up here above the 8 because we're moving over 4 spots. We're going to line our numbers up. Ooh, big numbers here. And we're going to do some subtracting. So let's go ahead and subtract. Oh my goodness, big numbers. Look at this. But if you notice, I'm still smaller than what I'm dividing by, so I must be doing okay. Well, what's nice about this, even though I'm dealing with some large numbers here, is I'm going to go ahead and bring down this 3. So I have here something like 10,333. Well, if you notice, I multiplied by 8 here and got 9,900. That's pretty close. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the 8 up here. And I'm going to write my answer as 9,960. Now, some of you are saying, Mrs. Houck, you probably should have multiplied by 9. I'm just going to guess and see. Now, I'm going to know that I'm right if my answer here is smaller than that. Otherwise, some of you are going to say, Mrs. Houck, you're going to be wrong, which means you think my answer down here is going to be larger than that. So let's go ahead and subtract, and let's just see what happens. Borrow, because it's... Oh, got to borrow from there. Look at that. So I had the answer 373, which means I found an answer that was smaller than that. All right, we have one last number to bring down. Okay, 1,245. Who wants to take a guess? What do you think we should multiply by? I'm a little hesitant to multiply by 3 because I think that might go too big, but maybe not. Let's go ahead and try it. So let's do 1,245 times 3. All right, check it out for me. And look at that. Perfect ending to our problem here. This is a 3. We subtract after we write our number down. And our final answer, our quotient, is 78 and 3/10. So the decimal stays right where it is. We don't move it. And our problem is finished. So we're going to do some more division problems tomorrow, but I just kind of wanted to introduce it for you today. What I would like for you guys to do right now is just kind of flip back over here to the page that you already have opened right over here. And I'm going to ask you to go ahead and in your books, would you guys solve right here problems number 1 and 2? So I might go ahead and take and maybe make 2 columns like this. You can use your marker boards. You can use scrap paper. Go ahead and solve those 2 problems. If you have the capabilities to take a picture of this page and send it to your teacher, that would be great. Those of you that are in class, you can show it to your teacher right there. Have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you guys all tomorrow.